Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that's heavy but incredibly important: suicidal ideation. It's a subject often shrouded in silence, yet it touches millions of lives. What does it mean to think about ending your own life? Why do these thoughts arise, and how can we address them? This isn't just a statistic or a clinical term, it's a human experience, one that deserves understanding, compassion, and action. Stick with me as we explore what suicidal ideation is, its causes, warning signs, and the hope that comes with treatment and support. Let's unravel this together, step by step, with stories and insights that might surprise you and keep you hooked. So, what exactly is suicidal ideation? In simple terms, it's when someone thinks about or considers ending their own life. These thoughts can range from fleeting ideas, like wishing you could just disappear, to detailed plans about how to act on those thoughts. There are two types: passive and active. Passive suicidal ideation is when you might think, I wish I didn't have to wake up tomorrow, but you don't have a plan to make it happen. Active suicidal ideation, though, is more intense. You're not just thinking about death, you're planning how to make it a reality. According to the CDC, in 2022, 13.2 million people in the U.S. seriously considered suicide, with 3.8 million making a plan. That's a staggering number, and it shows how common this struggle is. But here's the thing: having these thoughts doesn't mean you're broken or alone. It's a signal that something deeper needs attention, and we're going to unpack that. Stay with me. What causes these thoughts might surprise you. Why do people experience suicidal ideation? It's not just one thing. It's often a storm of factors colliding. Mental health conditions like depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD, or schizophrenia can play a huge role. For example, a 2017 meta-analysis found that 90% of people who die by suicide have a mental health condition, often a mood disorder. But it's not only about mental illness. Life events like losing a loved one, a breakup, financial stress, or chronic illness can push someone to the edge. Imagine feeling like the world is closing in with no way out. Even societal pressures like discrimination or bullying, especially for groups like LGBTQ+ youth, can heighten the risk. The Trevor Project reported in 2022 that 45% of LGBTQ+ youth seriously considered suicide. Genetics also play a part. If depression or suicide runs in your family, the risk can increase. And here's a twist: even medications, like some antidepressants, can trigger these thoughts in rare cases, especially in young people. It's complex, isn't it? But understanding these triggers is the first step to helping. Let's keep going. There's more to uncover about who's at risk. Suicidal ideation doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, young or old, rich or poor. But certain groups face higher risks. Young adults aged 18-25 are particularly vulnerable, with nearly 14% reporting serious suicidal thoughts, according to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. Women tend to experience these thoughts more often than men, though men are more likely to die by suicide due to using more lethal methods like firearms. People with chronic illnesses, substance abuse issues, or a history of trauma are also at greater risk. And here's something chilling: suicide contagion is real. When someone in your social circle or even a celebrity dies by suicide, it can spark similar thoughts in others. Rural communities see higher rates too, 1.8 times higher than urban areas per the CDC. Why? Less access to mental health care and more isolation. These patterns are eye-opening, but recognizing them can save lives. Want to know how to spot the signs? Let's dive into that next. How do you know if someone's struggling with suicidal ideation? The signs aren't always obvious, but they're there if you look closely. Someone might talk about wanting to die, feeling hopeless, or being a burden to others. They might say things like, everyone would be better off without me, Behavior changes are another red flag. Maybe they're withdrawing from friends, giving away prized possessions, or acting recklessly. Mood swings, increased substance use, or sudden calmness after a period of distress can also be warnings. For example, someone with active suicidal ideation might start researching ways to end their life or even write a goodbye note. But here's the kicker. Not everyone shows clear signs. Some people hide their pain, smiling on the outside while crumbling within. That's why asking direct questions like, "Are you thinking about hurting yourself?" can be a game changer. It doesn't plant the idea, it opens the door to help. Curious about how we can step in? Let's talk about intervention. If you suspect someone is having suicidal thoughts, what do? First, don't ignore it. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention says to stay calm, listen without judgment, and show you care. Ask directly, "Are you thinking about suicide?" It's tough, but it's vital. If they say yes, don't leave them alone. Remove dangerous objects like guns or pills if it's safe to do so. Then, get help immediately. Call 911 if the risk is urgent, or contact the 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline for guidance. For non-emergencies, encourage them to see a doctor or therapist. If the person is in immediate danger, a short-term psychiatric stay might be needed, even involuntarily, to keep them safe. Here's a real story. A friend noticed their coworker was unusually quiet and giving away personal items. They asked, listened, and called 988 together. That simple act led to therapy that saved a life. You don't have to be a hero, just be there. Want to know how professionals treat this? Let's explore that next. The good news? Suicidal ideation is treatable, and recovery is possible. Treatment often combines therapy, medication, and support systems. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, are gold standards. CBT helps reframe negative thoughts, while DBT teaches skills like mindfulness to manage intense emotions. Research shows CBT for suicide prevention, CBT-SP, can reduce suicidal behavior by up to 50%. Medications like antidepressants or mood stabilizers, such as lithium for bipolar disorder or clozapine for schizophrenia, can also help, though they require careful monitoring due to potential side effects. For severe cases, hospitalization provides safety and intensive care. Support groups and family therapy, like attachment-based family therapy for teens, can rebuild connections. At places like AME Health, personalized plans combine therapy, lifestyle changes, and crisis intervention to foster hope. It's not a quick fix, but these tools work. Ever wondered how to prevent these thoughts from returning? Let's look at that. Preventing suicidal ideation starts with awareness and action. Creating a safety plan is key. A personalized guide with coping strategies, emergency contacts, and steps to stay safe. The Staying Safe website offers templates for this. Building strong social support is crucial. Friends, family, or even community groups can make a difference. Regular mental health check-ins, especially for those with conditions like depression, can catch warning signs early. Lifestyle changes, like better sleep, exercise, and reducing substance use, also help. For example, a study in Alzheimer's dementia found that treating depression in dementia patients reduced suicidal thoughts significantly. Schools and workplaces can play a role too by fostering inclusive environments and reducing stigma. And here's a powerful fact. Just talking about suicide openly reduces its power. It's about creating a world where no one feels alone. Ready to hear how you can make a difference? You don't need to be a professional to save a life. If someone you know is struggling, start by listening. Let them know they're not a burden and that help is out there. Share resources like the 988 Lifeline or local mental health services. If you're on social media and see concerning posts, report them to the platform's safety team. Encourage professional help, but don't push too hard. Gentle support works best. For caregivers like those in nursing homes, increasing oversight like 15-minute checks can be critical, especially for vulnerable groups like dementia patients. And here's a surprising tip. Don't be afraid to share your own struggles if it helps them feel less alone. Connection is everything. As we wrap up, let's reflect on why this matters and what we can do moving forward. We've journeyed through the complexities of suicidal ideation, from what it is, to why it happens, to how we can help. It's a heavy topic, but it's also a hopeful one. Every step we take to understand, intervene, and support brings us closer to saving lives. If you or someone you know is struggling, remember this: you are not alone, and help is just a call or conversation away. Dial 988 if you need immediate support, and don't hesitate to reach out to a friend, family member, or professional. Let's keep this conversation going. Break the stigma, spread awareness, and show compassion. If this video touched you, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Drop a comment below with your thoughts or resources you found helpful. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for watching, and let's keep hope alive.